All right, where'd you go? Come on up. We got work to do. Okay, let me get my hair out of the way. Get my hair out of the way. Okay, you can do that. No wires. Come on. You got plenty of room to lay the butt down. Lay the butt down. There you go. Very good. Yep, there's your spot. She's like, but that's mine. I know. That's yours. I know, Moose. Okay. Who? Virgo? Yeah, Virgo. I'm sorry. Virgo, I'm good. I know what the hell I'm doing. All right, Virgo, we got to talk. It's not a serious talk. It's just about your July. It's about your July. I'm excited about July. I'm excited about everybody's July because Taffy's excited. And of course, she comes in the room for the Virgo reading, barges right in. Yeah. Good timing, girl. Let me move this thing a little bit. So what are we going to talk about for July? Well, I wanted to first start off right when she was banging on the door, like everything happened at once. I just realized something, and maybe I didn't just realize it, but the way I have this written out, have you ever thought it would be fun to go mountain climbing? Have you ever thought about that? Like, in terms of things that are fun, something that involves your body, and maybe not mountain climbing, but, something where you are literally physically ascending, rock climbing. I know sometimes they have those places you can go to where they've got like a course set up so you can I don't know, but something about physically ascending. Is that a thing? Like, is that, I'm just realizing this, like, what are some things that you do for fun? And for some of you, you might be like, no, I don't go rock mountain climbing. You might be like, well, I work for fun. That exactly, that's what I do for fun. But do you have any other activities outside of work? Okay. She got real comfortable. She's now laying down with her head on my wrist, and she's stretching her little feet out. She's giving me kitty kisses all over the hand. Okay, baby girl. Okay, you little moose. So, you work for fun. But what else do you do for fun? What does a Capricorn do for fun other than work? Right? Capricorn is serious energy. It is serious. And matter of fact, one of the subscribers had mentioned, she said, my mom says I'm too serious. That I need to kind of not be so serious, that I need to go out and have a good time. But see, Capricorn energy, your house of having a good time, your happy place, your place of laughter and fun, it's got Capricorn there. And so it's serious. It doesn't, yeah. What does a Capricorn do to play? And that's kind of why I started off with, what do you do for fun? So what are some other things, Capricorns? Give me some ideas in the comments. What I will add to this is I will now weave in the event. We're having a full moon in Capricorn energy. And the full moon, right, in Capricorn is at the beginning of July. Now, this is in your happy place, and it can involve children. Aha. It can involve children because this is the happy place. It's children, fun, joy, creativity, mating, or I should say dating, dating and mating, right? And it's for the long term. Very goal orientated. Very much about duty and responsibility and that whole thing, right? So if this means I need to have children or I should have children, you're going to be pretty serious about it. Like, it's not going to be something that you take lightly, right? Capricorn energy, and then having a full moon, it's a release. It's a release of something or someone or something you used to do for fun, which is why I kind of was trying to figure out, what the hell does Capricorn do for fun other than work? right? I am sure that some of you have some other ideas and other things that you've done because you have other things in your chart that can either angle this or whatever, right? You know what I'm talking about. And if you're watching because you're a Capricorn birthday, you can keep on watching. But what I would please ask of you is to comment to me what your birth date is, the month and the date and the year. So I can at least find out what your sun degree is, because that's your birthday, your sun sign. And then I can find out if it's at the matching degrees of the full moon. And I know the part with the degrees and the date. You don't have to know that part, but you do know the part of your birth date, month, and year, right? Right. So you get that to me and I can figure the rest out for you. The degrees, for those of you that know, the degree is 11 degrees and 18 minutes, a Capricorn full moon. It's a release and an ending, some sort of an ambition, some sort of a long-term goal you are releasing. Could had to do with romance, could had to do with children or fun, whatever the hell you did to play and feel like a kid again. You were some serious ass children, I can tell you that, right? Some serious ass children. And that's how our parents know, right? They saw us when we were little itty bitties and they were just like, that one there got a very different idea of play, right? That one there is playing business. That's what that one's doing. They're over there setting up shop and shit and selling things. And it's like, what? Yeah, that's kind of how I see this. You remember the cartoon, the Peanuts cartoon? And who was the one who had Lucy, right? Like Charlie Brown had his thing and Lucy had her thing, where she was like, it would say like the psychiatrist is in. And so people would, whoever walked up, I have no idea, but it was like, you're 5 years old and you're setting up a psychiatric booth, like for people to walk up and tell you they're, and I'm thinking, that's a little Capricorn kid. Well, with obviously some Scorpio in there for sure, psychology, right? But I thought, wow. I mean, she was charging. It wasn't just talking. It was like 5 cents or some shit. So that's kind of like that Capricorn work thing when I was young. You get it? So there's a release and ending. Okay. So for some of you, if you're in a relationship, or maybe it's not a relationship, but maybe it's more of a flirtatious thing where we're playing around with the boss, maybe somebody who's older because it's Capricorn, masculine male energy, Capricorn. Maybe there's a like, hey, I'm done and over with thing. Could be. All right. Now let's move on to some fun stuff, to some fiery, optimistic, adventurous, positive, courageous, and confident stuff. I like this, right? The node is moving this month, mid-July. The North Node is moving from Taurus into Aries. And I have been doing quite a few videos about this. And in this one, we're going to talk about where you can expect ease to come through in your life, where you can feel all the things I've just talked about. And they line up because it's a grand fire trine energy. Chaw! Nice stuff here. Very nice. Very beautiful. All about beginning, all about being courageous, all about, I haven't done this before. I'm going to be the not even the daredevil, but the pioneer. I'm going to go where no man has gone before, no woman, like that kind of energy. Yeah. And it's going to be fun. I'm thinking of the cat right here, but it is part of the cat energy too. It's fun, and it might have to do with learning and possibly traveling. Like, ooh, this sounds really nice, doesn't it? Sounds really nice. But before we go there, I have to tell you a little bit about what else happens on this day. This day, there is also a new moon. Yeah, there is a new moon in the sign of Cancer. Now, this new moon in Cancer energy, first of all, let's break this down. A new moon is when we set intentions. It's how we can tell the universe, pray, God, Allah, Yahweh, the creator, whatever deity is for you. You can put your prayers down. You can make your wishes. You can set your intentions and be like, this is what I need going forward. It has to do with mom and family and feelings and emotion and family and home. What I need for my emotional security. What I need for my emotional security. My emotional needs. Yep, This is a highly empathic sign. When we talk about Cancer energy, I think she has quite a bit of it. Yes, I do. I think you have quite a bit of it, Torties. Yes, I think they do. And I didn't know this, but Torties are predominantly females. Cancer energy, females. Come on, come on. Hey. Oh, you're about to hit the lamp or the light. Good girl. Okay. The other cat's outside the door. Look at, see, she's watching. She knows. Yeah. Is she sticking her paw under the door? Yeah, she waits. As soon as the door opens, they go. Anyway, Cancer, new moon. What do you need to feel emotionally safe, emotionally secure? Cancer energy. You see how interesting this is? At the beginning of the month, it was a release and a let go. And remember, Capricorn, I don't think I mentioned this part of it because it was in your fifth house, but it is really about thinking. You were thinking, yeah, what's fun for you? Setting up and thinking about your long term, tangible security. Yeah, that's what that was. All that serious energy, thinking about your long term, tangible security, part of your goal and your ambition. Okay. And so that release then makes room for this new beginning. They're opposite of each other, Cancer and Capricorn, you see? So this is in your 11th house, typically, your 11th house. It's at 2456. So please comment to me, because for those of you who have your chart, this 2456 may bump into your 12th house. It's possible. And the only way I could know is to look at your chart. Now, you already may know. You may have your chart and be like, yeah, it's in my 12th. Comment to me and let me know, and I'll help you out. I'll kind of, yeah, we'll go to the next step with that to give you more information. Okay. It's a new moon. Set those intentions. If it's in your 11th house, this is your group energy. This is like, I'm out in the world, how I function when I'm in groups. Do I go to things that involve groups? You know, the 11th house is like the chats, being online in those digital chats. That's online. This is the internet, the 11th house, inventions for humanity, right? The internet. Absolutely. A new beginning, finding your tribe. You find your tribe there. This makes me think of, I can think of three or four people, maybe more, but who were relatively new to the channel, where it was just like, wow, like tribe energy really stepped in. Quite a few people, not just necessarily with me, but with each other when they're communicating and in the chat, and they're excited to get together. It's not about it's about we. It's like, damn, there's a thing there, because Cancer is history, your soul's history. And if you don't believe in that, well, then whatever the hell you believe in, there's something there from the past. And it's people quite possibly that you've never even met before. And people you have met, but yet never physically met. People you recently met, but yet, you follow? This is going to include people you have yet to meet, because it's a new moon. So 2456, the hours of power are the 8 hours before the time of the new moon. The time of the new moon is at 1:32 p.m. All right. Now, this is on the 17th. Getting back to that other exciting thing I talked about, Grand Trine exciting, this is also on the 17th of July. Is this crazy? The North Node goes into the cardinal sign of Aries, cardinal, on the 17th. The new moon, a cardinal sign in Cancer, on the 17th. So there will absolutely, for some, there might be some things that are feeling like, oh, wait a minute, shit, what's all this about? Right? Now, Virgos, I know you appreciate details, so I'm going to go ahead and dive into this for you a little bit here. All right. If you've got your Aries energy in your 8th, and I know some of you have some of your Aries in your 7th and your 8th. Okay. And so for those of you who know your stuff really well, like you already know the answer to this, then what does it angle? Where's your Cancer energy? Where is the square coming from? Right? Your Cancer energy is in your 11th. So that means your 8th house and your 11th house are angling up. So it's stress and tension. It's stress and tensions. This means you're friends. The 11th house is friends. So whether these are people you are currently friends with, whether these are people you are going to be meeting, it only creates the stress and tension typically if you have something at the degrees in Cancer energy that will match. And eventually that south node, as it goes down in numbers, will angle something with that 11th house energy. Right. It will eventually angle something. Now, you may not have any planets there, okay? But if you don't, just know that the moon is sitting there. The moon is sitting there. And so this is, again, it's about how we feel. It's about things we don't tangibly see, but it's more about a feeling. It's more about the empathy and the empathic ability and the nurturing, how we nurture each other. So the North Node puts a challenge to that because if it's in Aries, it's my individuality. It's who I am as an individual. And what happens is if it squares the friends, well, then it's saying, am I going to be accepted for who I am? Am I going to be challenged because of the way I identify? Right. So it could challenge family members. Yeah, it could challenge family members. I know it's 11th house, but it's mom and it's family energy too for some of you, right? I mean, some of you have parents where they feel more like friends, right? Um, my mom was just talking about that to me today on the phone because we were talking, and it was a really difficult day with her. Literally, a lot of repetition. Just not, yeah. The last 10 days things have gone just not so great. Just more of a challenging time for her with her memory, and yeah, so she said she felt really strange when I called, and I would say, "Hey, mom." She said, "You really shock me when you call me mom." And I said, "Well, mom, it's because sometimes your brain is playing tricks and it's not letting you know that I'm your daughter and that you are my mom. And so that might be why you feel that way when I call and when I say, 'Hey, mom.'" And she's like, "Well, I don't mean to be that way." And I was like, "No, it's okay. I understand. Like, it's the brain playing games again, the brain games." And she was trying to just figure it out and then trying to understand, how was she my mom or how was I her daughter? And, like that whole thing. And then, yeah. So that, yeah, it's just part of this process and part of this time for her. And so the identity, at that point, she said, "Well, it just seems so weird because I think of you as an equal." And I said, "Well, that's what happens when your children grow up. You think of them as an equal, right? Mostly, right? Maybe some people don't grow up, but it was kind of a compliment, 'cause that's how I took it coming from my mother. She's like, "Well, I think of you as an equal." And I said, "Well, thank you." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I'm grown, mom, and that makes sense. When your children grow, yeah, you should consider them as being a individual, a human being, and an independent being who can have an identity outside of being your child now. Now I'm an adult, so now I'm like, oh, I got this other person. I identify differently with this person, right?" And so this is just to kind of pull that together where who we are, it may be challenged by family or friends that feel like family members that feel like friends, or we may challenge them. Like, it can go both ways. There might be something there about how we're identifying, or maybe not even about identity, but the freedoms of our bodies and the freedoms of our actions, our body autonomy. Yeah, this is a big deal. So that's that, but that's not the exciting stuff. The exciting stuff is the grand fire trine. That's the like, yes, the ease. It brings ease. Ease, ease, ease. So this sets up sweet trine energy between your 8th house of emotions. And if you've got some Aries in your 7th, then you're more complex, right? Because that means your 7th and your 8th, and then your 12th house and your 4th house. Now, the 4, 8, and 12 are the spiritual houses. Okay. So this means you have a grand fire trine. You have fire in the houses of water, which makes you an unbelievably potent being. You are way more than your personality. Some of you may be, not that you don't know this, but you may be unraveling more gifts than you were aware that you had. We've got fire energy. Fire and water, when they get together, man, it's like, it's power. It is powerful. And because it's fire in the water, it's emotions. Those houses have water. Even though you have fire there, right? But what happens is we can create with this energy. It is very strong metaphysician energy. It's very powerful. And so we have to really, because when we are setting intentions, when we want something, your emotions are the fuel. So if you know how some people you come across and they feel like they don't really have much passion for anything in life, like they can care less, like it's come and go. They're like, they're not really passionate about anything. But when you're deeply passionate, when you're deeply intense, when you feel deeply, when you're very fiery, you have that ability. You get the water boiling, the emotions, right? And if you can focus that tool, that energy, you can make stuff happen. You can, dare I say, make your dreams come true, because it's the 12th house of dreams that's getting a trine to it. It's your 4th house of home and family that's getting a trine. So even though I talked about the square angling the Cancer energy, which can be friends that feel like family, and if our parents feel like family or feel like friends, there's this grand fire trine for the next 18 months of your life. It's energetic. It's inspiring. It's optimistic. It's courageous. And it's confident. There might be traveling involved. There's something about you being unique and colorful. There's fun. There's laughter. There's adventure. Adventure. The next 18 months of your life. Houses 4, 8, and 12. Emotions and family and feelings. This is the deep bonded energy, the deep bonds. And it is also the house of dreams, the 12th house of dreams and fantasy and sci-fi and overseas, communicating overseas, living overseas, just dreams and fantasy. 12th house is very creative. So I'm excited because there's many people where they might not really have found or discovered their creative spark or ways that they're comfortable in creating. And nobody, well, I shouldn't say nobody. I'm just going to tell you that I, for one, grew up where creativity was not supported in my household. I mean, it was in terms of music. Like if you could play an instrument. Okay. Well, what if you can't play an instrument? Like, what's your thing, you know? So it was a long time of struggling to figure that out. And there's no better way but then when you have a grand fire trine, because you're daring yourself. You're brave and courageous, and you are willing to figure out what that is, because you understand it's a damn experiment. There's no such thing as failure in an experiment. You follow? That is the point of the experiment, to discover. There is no failures. So with that, I got to get the cat. I hope you enjoyed your video, Virgo. Let me know in the comment below what you're doing. What do you think this is going to be for you? If you got questions, if you need your chart, if you don't know, comment below. Bye-bye. Below the video, I'll have all the degrees for those of you who like to pay attention to the degrees in your chart. Again, if you don't know and you want to know, just comment below.